Welcome back to our podcast, Childish Grown-Ups, rewatching childhood films with a twist. Doing this podcast is what makes us stoop kids leave the stoop so y'all can come outside and meet us at home base to discuss movies. I am Maurice Hunter III. Y'all may know me as Mo, but I'm not alone. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Ash Bash and Mia G. How y'all ladies doing on this holiday evening?
Feeling pretty good, getting closer and closer to Christmas, so definitely in the feels.
Feeling good, just trying to make it through the holidays.
Yeah.
Create some magic. Remember to move the elf on the shelf every morning.
That's really a thing, huh?
Ooh, sugar cookie is kicking my butt, okay?
Oh, you locked in for real. Like, wow, you could have, I mean, that's childish grown-ups like daily right there. Elf on the shelf.
hmm
Okay. Well, speaking of childish grown-ups moments, before we get further into the movie that we're reviewing today, obviously, I can see in the title, extreme classic. It's up there. It's very much up when we talk about this film. Let's talk about childish grown-ups moments this week. So, Ash, I'm gonna throw the ball in your court. Did you have a childish grown-up moment that you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, I
Stoop
got two
kids.
actually. I'll start with the one for yesterday. So my son wanted some sweet rice for breakfast, and that was a staple in our household. Butter and sugar in the rice for breakfast, a little bit
Oh
of toast on the
man.
side. Some people like the salt and pepper version, but sweet is what was our go-to. So yeah, I introduced that to Anthony a long time ago. So I was actually shocked that he brought it up randomly. I'm like, I gotta see if we even got some rice. And so he asked me Saturday morning after we already ate breakfast. I was like, well, I'll make it for you Sunday. And of course, like I told y'all, if you say you're gonna do it, he gonna hold you to it. So he come in my room in the morning, he get on the bed. I wake up, he like in my face right here. I'm like, Anthony, what's up, bro? Mommy, you say he's gonna make the rice. I got you. Let me get up, get moving, and I'll get you together. So yeah, I made him the rice. He killed it. So I thought that was again, that's something that I used to like growing up. So that was
Oh,
definitely
you
a
was OD
childish.
on that. Like you took it further than me and Bubba for sure. Like
Hey,
we kind of got burned out on the rice, and you was the only one still holding strong. On like, yeah, mom, can I get some buttered sugar
hey,
rice in the morning before we get on the
I'm
bus?
used to that, man. Stand alone. It's all good. And one last one, he had a 2 hour delay this week. There was a lot of fog in my area, so he had a 2 hour delay for school and took me back to when we had our 2 hour delays and school closures, sitting in front of the TV.
Oh my god.
You on channel 5. Our school started with a C, so we was early in the alphabet. So if you
Mm-hmm.
missed that, you gotta wait till you get all the way to the end. So you might go to channel 6. You switching, trying to get back to the top of the alphabet, see if you got that closure or that 2 hour delay. So I was like, man, now you're a grown up with children. You still ain't got no 2 hour delay. I still got to get to work, so I got
Yeah.
to figure out what's going on. So yeah, man, just good memory bank. Good memory bank.
Listen, the fact it's like now you could probably just like get on your phone and find out. You know what I mean? But like back then, it's like, bro, you didn't have that infrastructure. Like you were glued, eyeballs on screen, glued to that. Like the level of disappointment to find out your school still was having regular time. Like, bro, we really was mean mugging, mad at the world the fact that our school didn't delay with everybody. Like,
Disgusting.
we was like, what? How they gonna make us still go to school on time? Like,
We like looking out the blinds, like, yo, look outside. And then jealous, even with the 2 hour delay, like, why we didn't get the closure? Like, what was the
yeah, we
determined
definitely
factor
get to
that
close it. Like,
I,
My mom, if I ever had a 2 hour delay, she would just let me stay home. She was like, because I got to go to work. So I'm staying,
hey, listen,
so stay home.
shout out to moms, man. Hey, was that like even all the way in middle school era? Or like how far? How? Okay,
hmm,
yeah. Did you get the same rules? Don't open the door. Don't pick up the phone. That type of.
Oh, you already know.
Yeah, it ties into this movie for sure. Ah, all right. What about you, Mig G? What's you got a childish grown up moment this week?
I didn't have one until today
Mm.
when um So you guys know I was supposed to go see Wicked again for the third time today with my mom and my daughter. But in order to avoid any, scheduling conflicts or inconveniences, I was like, no, it's okay. I just told her to take my niece with my daughter. They could have a little girl's day. But I definitely was pouting for a good hour.
Oh, the pout face is crazy.
I can't shake this feeling.
Like, yeah.
Like, oh, I want to go to the movie, but
Yeah.
I got
Well,
responsibilities.
so I definitely got responsibilities. I think the Stoop kids would appreciate your presence here. We definitely appreciate your presence because this was definitely going to be one of those times we was going to have to knock on your door and we're like, hey, can Mia come outside? And it's like, nah, she ain't even home. She had her cousins. Like, oh, man. Now it's just two of us, you know what I mean? So good thing you was able to come outside. It is on this, cold, snowy day for some people. So that's funny though. That is funny. Are y'all gonna still try to see it another time, or you just gonna go and call it a day?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna see it again
Wow.
eventually. I just gotta figure out if somebody else wants to go or if
Yeah.
I'm by myself.
Okay.
Is third the max for you, or
Hey, listen.
No, it depends on how long they keep it in the theater.
Hey, hey, look. If you go more than 3, I'm gonna have to put my glasses back on. I'm gonna get a notebook. I'm gonna have you sit on this couch over here. And
hey, she's giving Love and Basketball.
oh,
For me,
she's definitely giving Ashley watching Love and Basketball back to back in the same day, no problem. Like, whoa. But that's fun though. I think that is beautiful. If it's something that you enjoy, it's harmless and it's something that really puts a smile on your face and you're into it. It's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's my money, it's my time, and I can enjoy this. So I respect that. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. I haven't been this excited about a new film in a really long time. So
Bad Boys 4? No. Fair enough. My childish grown up moment is super minute in comparison to y'all. So y'all may know, but the Stoop kids are listening. I'm a vegetarian. So, and I have been for 4 years, I believe, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Anyway, so, from time to time, I'll get me like some Impossible, chicken nuggets or chicken patties. So they actually had Lion King Impossible chicken nuggets. So they were shaped like the lions. So I had to buy those just because I was like, yo, we just did the Lion King review as our pilot episode. And even took it even further. And our daughter, she tends to she bounces back and forth. She'll eat some of the stuff I cook, some of the stuff her mom cooked. So she ate the lion shaped chicken nuggets. So I thought that was like super dope. So that was just like a little childish thing I thought about when we was kids. You just those little microwave meals and the different shaped nuggets and stuff. So it kind of took me back in that sense. But it's a little minute this week. But yeah, it definitely was a childish grown up moment. I was like, let me get them. I need that. So. Yeah. Ash.
Yes, sir.
Don't give it to us.
All righty. Well, if you're a YouTube watcher, as I say every week, you see the mic is on. Yeah, I know what time it is. I think y'all should do good this week. I took it easy. So it's time for Flash with Ash. I got a couple fun facts first, and then we'll get into that trivia. So, fun fact number 1. The classic scene where Robin Williams' character, Daniel, hides his face in the cake frosting in Mrs. Doubtfire took over 50 takes to get right. I was like, what?
Wow.
50. I wonder why, like, he kept laughing or it was falling off, it wasn't sticking. I got questions.
That's commitment.
Yeah, that I bet it was something along the lines of, commercials, they manipulate the food to make it look a different way. Like, y'all know how they do like the whipped cream. They'll use like shaving gel for whipped cream to make it look away, or they use something else to make it look like cheese. It probably was a scenario where they had to keep remaking this cake and it had to have something different in it that would stick, be thick enough, and not just slide off his face. That's the only thing I could think of that would make it say, hey, okay, we have this many cakes with this much, Man, 50 takes is crazy
Yeah.
for a scene like that.
It's dedication.
As good as that scene is, I don't think it ain't worth 50 takes. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Like it's not that
50
pivotal.
is insane.
That is, I walk off a set. I still got heels on. I still got this heavy makeup on. I got fake boobs on. I gotta walk off the set, bro. Like, it's too much.
I can see you doing it. Like,
this is too much.
Hey, but yeah, you're insane. But I was like, that's a cool fact since we did just do that movie not too long ago. So I was like, let me share that with the guys and the girls. So, all right, second fun fact. The song A Whole New World was actually a last-minute addition to Aladdin. It was added after the character of Aladdin's mom was removed from the film. Originally, the ballad in the film was supposed to be Proud of Your Boy, a song Aladdin sings to his mom at the beginning of the movie. The film's composer, Alan Menken, knew there needed to be a ballad. So he reworked the song and with the lyricist Tim Rice, and they were doing a magic carpet ride scene. So the addition of A New World gave Jasmine a song to sing as well.
I would let Mia.
Mia's over there clutching her pearls. A last-minute addition turned out to be what?
I am gagged.
I know. I was in shock.
Could you imagine?
Oh, like, that is ridiculous if they didn't have that. Like,
I know.
We hear stuff like that all the time with people finishing albums. Like, they'd be like, this was actually the last record we recorded, and it'd be like the craziest one. That is crazy. But I'm looking at him sideways. It's like, y'all last minute removed the mother. What's up with y'all, bro? Like, why y'all keep doing this? Stop taking the moms out, bro. Like, come on, Diz. Seriously.
Not Diz. First name basis out here.
Yeah, man, come on, man.
But yeah, so I found some cool facts. I wanted to share that with y'all and the Stoop Kids. So let's go ahead and get into this trivia. All right. First one we got. In what episode? This is from Fresh Prince. All right.
Okay.
So in this episode, Will was trapped in a basement with his girlfriend, Kathleen. And he didn't know a lot about her was fake. What was the first thing he found out that was fake? And if I'll give you a hint, this was Tisha Campbell. This was that.
Yeah, I remember this episode. This is,
okay,
I don't want to die. I want to live. Like, I remember that whole joint. Like, breath mints. Like that. Yeah, that's a staple.
Okay.
It was the hair.
Mia G.
No. I'll agree because I don't know.
Okay. No, it was the eyes, the eye contacts.
Dang, that was first. I thought that was second.
Yeah, it was the eyes. She had a lot going on that she was taking
she
off.
Took the nails here,
right
here. Like, yeah, that whole.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. Dang, the contacts. Yeah, that was. Wow. All right, you got us on that one. All right.
The second one is coming from Smart Guy.
Ooh.
What famous singing group wanted TJ to go on tour with them? Was it Isis, In Vogue, Destiny Child, or 3LW? Your brother is smart.
That was for sure Destiny's Child.
That's why I was going to say Destiny's Child.
You guys are correct. Ooh. It was Destiny Child.
Yeah, they were mad.
Should have known Mia was gonna get this. You know, she a part of the Beehive and all that. The
Beehive for sure is in effect. I'm a survivor. Yeah. Hey, listen. We were listening to Destiny Child, and we were going through, like, treating it like a versus, and we were trying to see who had, like, the best verse on these different records. Of course, my wife put me on. I don't know anything, like, enough to, and we trying to see, like, was Michelle really as bad as people were saying? So we would try to kind of, fill it out. Like, there's some moments she got the best verse. Like, she, ain't always like that. Catered to You was fire. Like that Michelle part was fire. But anyway,
it was all right.
They always gave her, like, the bridge. They never gave a verse.
Yeah, they definitely was cutting her stuff short. She had a different kind of voice, so.
Yeah, it was definitely the placement issue. It just wasn't enough. But Shout out
They,
to us.
they treated her like the cousin with the controller unhooked. And like, oh, you can play too. Here you go. Like,
Right.
just get to. And they hit her with the bless your heart.
But she went into her acting bag, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
She
yeah.
hit some plays and some things. So,
And she found a way, and of course she,
Shout out to
God
her.
fearing woman and stuff, found her lane and
Absolutely.
stuff. But yeah, it was funny listening to some stuff she did well on, some stuff it was
Yeah.
like, but it was just fun to go through that process. So
Okay. All right. Final question, guys. This is from Martin. So you don't disappoint me, all right? How much was Martin's CD player? I got multiple choice if y'all need it.
Come on with that. Come on with them choices, man.
$100, $200, $250, or $400?
This is, I felt like I knew everything about Martin, but this is kind of stumping me a little
It's like
bit.
a logistics thing, like a real nook and cranny. type of thing.
Remember, Pam was like, she got a raise at work. She got a commission at work today. And he
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Another 100, get you one of these. Y'all remember how much he got from that commission?
Okay. I feel like it was 300.
I'm gonna say 200.
So let me give y'all multiple choice again. Then y'all give me your final. 100, 200, 250, or 400.
Ooh. Shoot.
I mean, damn, it's the 90s. Would they really say 400? That was it really like that?
That's what I'm thinking, because it's the 90s. Stuff did not cost like that, did it?
Yeah, it did because it was like a CD player, not like the boombox joint, right? It's like,
He was
bruh,
hyping
man.
it up.
It was like the big CD player with like
the big box joint.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'll say 400. If it was that, if it wasn't like, I thought it was his personal CD player. Like,
it was regular.
It was like the
that's
real.
why I was like, but go with your guesses.
I'm still for
I
another
don't-
$100. It could.
Because I was gonna say 3, but that wasn't one of the choices, so I'll go with 400.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go 4.
It's correct.
What?
That is correct.
That is crazy. $400 for a CD player.
I know. That's what makes the episode even more bonkers. Because she had got a $300 commission. He was like, another 100, get you one of these. I was like, that CD player is $400.
That's how they used to get you though. Like that stuff was like new age technology back then.
Yeah, man.
Wow. All right. We
So
get
y'all
fully
what? Two out of 3?
2 out of 3.
Okay. Good ratio.
Yeah. And thank you for those facts, man. That was a real interesting thing. It kind of keeps us tied back into our other episodes. That was fire.
Yeah, that's what I do. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, that was Flash with Ash. Y'all know what time it is. Mia G, can you do that? Do that thing. Do a favor for me. That machine over there. Can you pull that lever and take us back real quick?
Oh, you guys. Okay. Today we are going to be talking about the 1990 classic Christmas film, Home Alone. Quick synopsis: an 8-year-old troublemaker mistakenly left home alone must defend his home against a pair of burglars on Christmas Eve. This film was released November 16th, 1990, right in time for the holidays, with a stellar cast, including a young Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister, the Catherine O'Hara as Kate McAllister, John Hurd as Peter McAllister, Joe Pesci as Harry, Daniel Stern as Marv, Devin Rattray as Buzz McAllister, Gary Bittman as Uncle Frank, Kieran Culkin as Fuller McAllister, John Candy as Guy Polanski, Robert Blossom as Mr. or Old Man Marley. And there were actually some toys and a little bit of merchandise that came out with this film as well. And the first was, there was a talking Kevin plush doll that was released in 1991 by a company called THQ Incorporated. And then also this was a toy or a gadget that was released for the movie, but didn't become popular until the sequel. And it was the Talk Boy, the little
Oh, come on.
that
The
Kevin was.
Talk Boy. Come on.
And the Talk Boy recording device that was featured in the movie was sold in 1992, and the original model didn't have a voice changer, but the deluxe model came out in 1993 that had the voice changer that he was using. And it became a bestseller after the release of Home Alone 2 on home video.
Yeah, Talk
Nice.
Boy. You remember that, Ash? The little recorder, the little
I
silver?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Wow. Thank you, Mia, for that synopsis and that some of that merch. Definitely takes me back every time. I love when movies have something to go along with it. If it's a video game or a toy or shirts or whatever, I love that. Like that is so 90s rollout, you know. All right, so Ash, a little rewind here. Obviously, you wasn't born yet. I was
Right.
just born. Mia, you were
Just born.
just born as well. So this is obviously we didn't see this in real time, but it's so weird how movies back then held, for those that if we got a younger audience, for those that don't understand, movies would cycle for so much longer back then, as well as music, because of the access, the lack thereof. So it preserved, it had a element that things still would last, so it still felt new, because by the time we got to this movie, it felt new, it felt fresh. You know, it's just like music and stuff. Like, oh, when did this come out? It's like, oh, this is way before your time. You know, so it was just a different kind of placeholder back then. So Ash, taking us back, when we rewind, how do you remember this film? Like, where do you remember seeing it and watching it? How it felt then? How it's just carried through your life? What do you remember when you rewind on something like this?
I remember it being funny. I'm trying to recall where I feel like I seen it the most. I feel like it was at the house. Could have been a daycare also. It's kind of fuzzy there, but I don't remember Christmas going by not watching it. I feel like this was like a every year type of movie that we watched. And I just remember all the booby traps that he had set. Like that's the part of the movie that sticks out to me the most, was all the like the contraptions, everything he did, like, and then obviously the voice on that show or that movie he was watching, You Filthy Animal. So those two are like very memorable statements of the movie that I recall. But I just remember not going by any Christmas not watching this movie. So that's how I remember it.
Okay. What about you, Meg G?
Of course, again, I was 2 months old when this movie was released. But I remember that it was introduced to me very young, because I don't really remember a time before I knew about this movie. Like, it was always just a staple throughout my childhood, every holiday season. And then sometimes just in the meantime and in between time, you know, as watching this movie on VHS, just because I just loved it. And then, you know, getting older, not watching it quite as much, but still remembering, because it was kind of an instant classic with those quotables. And it was always something that, like, if you knew who Macaulay Culkin was, if you know, basically didn't live under a rock, anytime somebody said something from this movie, you knew exactly where it was from or what the reference was.
Yeah. Similar, like, again, we were so young, but like you kind of don't remember a time without it. And I think I recall this around, you know, cable times, where you're gonna get the you know, this kind of a Christmas special marathon. And, you know, you're getting, again, I say this a lot, but that was just a thing, but, you know, on cable back in the day, it was like, hey, coming on at 5 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock, Home Alone. Like, when it came on, commercial, Home Alone 2, it don't matter. When it came on, it was like, we're watching this, and it's like, it ain't Christmas yet till we see this movie. Like, it's priority. Like, it's like everything else. Like, we're gonna do a Christmas dinner, we're gonna do some dancing, we're gonna do some recording, we're gonna fill some stockings, whatever it is, but it ain't Christmas until you get Home Alone in the mix. Like, this was very first, and it hasn't left. You know what I mean? Like this is to me the Mariah Carey of Christmas movies. Like as much as people get annoyed about All I Want for Christmas, that song when it comes out, like you'll even see memes of Mariah Carey in an ice cube and it's melting. They say it's this many days from being from being tired of hearing this record coming, you know. And so to me, Home Alone is that, you know, but except you're not tired of it, you know. You know, but shout out to Mariah Carey for making our childhood that record. So it's just I feel like marathon Christmas specials. You're gonna see Home Alone is coming on. Might mess around, see 1 and 2, you know, in that mix, whatever. So, and again, we're home. This is Christmas break days back in the day. You know, you're not going outside the whole time for Christmas break. Like it's a little different now. The weather is a lot different, you know. But back then, it's going to be really cold. It's going to probably have snow outside. We're going to be in the house. The heat is on. Hot chocolate. We're gonna watch TV. So as soon as Home Alone come, okay, we'll stop everything. No video games right now. We're watching Home Alone. So as far as I can remember, I definitely remember some kind of way it was on live television and we were watching that joint. So let's have a little bit of a discussion here before we get into like the moments that we're all at. My first question, whoever wants to answer first by any means, is Kevin McAllister a good kid?
Good question. Is he a good kid? I mean, the way that they introduced him to us, it was kind of hard to tell if he was or not. I mean, he really didn't do anything other than, I mean, you know, that little fiasco in the kitchen, that was just, you know, he was mad. But like that was to be determined at that time to me. So I, you know, in the beginning, I mean, I didn't really know that he was a bad kid. That was just a reputation, obviously, that was put upon him around his siblings and cousins. And so I don't know. I can't say that he was.
I have thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So initially, I'm like, I didn't think he was bad because I'm like, his family is just mean. Like, it's too much going on, and he needs more attention. Like, you ever like know a kid, or if maybe you've been this kid where like they're acting up at school and the realization is like, oh, they're not being challenged enough. Like they just need more to do. That's how I kind of felt about Kevin. I'm like, he just needs a little bit more attention and like an outlet. And you kind of see that, like, this is my mom brain working now. As you know, a mother of 2. You see, like, this little boy needed to be in an engineering program, but you know, he had a lot of pent up energy. But you know, maybe it's a cultural thing, because I'm like, I didn't think he was bad until that moment where he was like, you know, his mom is like, go upstairs, Kevin. I am upstairs, dummy. And I'm like,
hey, yeah, that was the jerks and the dummies.
Hey, dummy, calling your mom dummy and say it with all conviction in the world. All right, anyway, my bad.
Yeah, you'd have been down the stairs.
Yeah, you've been in the basement. You've been in the basement.
Before the Y came out, you was already down to the floor.
You've been in the laundry chute.
Nothing but net. What are you talking about?
You would have had no opportunity to even set up a trap.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a good kid, but I don't think he's the worst. I think his family's just worse. I think he's around a pretty terrible people. Like I would say, like the way they dealt with him and talked about him. And I'll speak to a little bit about things that I would change about the movie, but I don't think he was a good kid. The question kind of is like what Ash was kind of alluding to, is like almost like, how do we get here? Like maybe he had potential to be a good kid, but because of the environment, this will cause him to be maybe similar to the rest of them. Like, y'all always do me like this. Now I'm doing y'all like that. You know, it's an interesting thing. Like it is a hard call. So I'll say he's not a good kid, but he's not a good kid not by choice, though. I feel like I don't think he wants to not be a good kid. I think that his environment pushed him to be that way because, you know, maybe, what is it, middle child? I mean, what well, he's the youngest child when we get to his real family at the end, right?
Yeah, he's the youngest of his siblings, but like not in the family.
Okay, so yeah, so he's like the baby. Yeah. Is this family terrible for treating him like that?
Hey, I got that in the things I think the movie got wrong or things that I didn't like.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that they were like, there was just one moment that was just crazy to me. And I was like,
This is
yeah,
OD.
if I was Kevin, I probably would be acting up too, because this is just insane.
Yeah.
They treated him so bad.
Yeah. Ash?
Yeah, I agree. They were terrible. It was really bad. Um, really bad. And it was so many people in the house. Like I think because I was trying to see how many are his actual siblings. And I think they said 11, right? 11 is just
No, at
is
the
that
end when you see them come back, it's only like what, Buzz and the two sisters, right?
He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. It was 5 of them.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like,
Oh, it was the other kid with the little Harry Potter looking kid, like. Okay.
Oh, so that's okay, got you. Okay. But yeah.
Yeah, please tell me y'all got this vibe. Like there was something about, and this is just a little thing, it's not really a question, but like just how 90s just the opening of this is. Like, man, like the whole house, like you see all that wallpaper, man, you see them wooden chairs with the holes in the back, you know, you can see through the chairs, that kitchen counter with the tiles on the little island. Like, I mean, the attic, having an attic as a room, the pastel colors, the floral pictures. I mean, how 90s was this? Like, most people say, well, it's 80s really because it's going into the 90s at 90, but like, man, this trend, were y'all getting that feeling a lot through the movie, or was it just really kind of that opening part of it where it's just like you felt such a immediate nostalgia just from that opening scene, the house layout, the whole situation?
The whole movie gave me nostalgia. Like that part specifically, just like everything was a little bit brighter. There was more character in like homes and decorations and just like basic infrastructure. Like it was just there was more character. And I remember like when I was a kid, the house I grew up in, the attic was actually ended up being my bedroom. So it was like really
Oh yeah.
like yeah. It was we don't even have to go into it, but yeah, I ended up like having my bedroom be in the attic like after my little sisters were born. But it was just there was something so like familiar, even like the way the pizza was ordered and delivered, that was nostalgic. It was just things are so different now, you know.
Ash, what about you? What did you feel about that?
I agree. It was all through and through. Especially in the neighborhood, just all the houses having the lights, and I mean, he clearly knew the neighborhood. You know, like he walking all. They had that little where Santa was supposed to be or whatever, like that little place out there in the neighborhood. So yeah, I would say throughout the movie, definitely very nostalgic.
Yeah, this was what we, as kids, we're not thinking about being grown-ups, but eventually when you get older and you keep this film on replay every holiday season, you strive to have a home like this. Like that's a thought. Like you definitely like, this, because there's media plays such a heavy part in not only our personalities, as far as film, music, culture, pop culture, whatever. But this is one of those things that are just kind of etched in your brain. When you think about Christmas, you think about it should look like this. The home should feel like if for those that are listening, like if the reason I even considered having a house with stairs is because of this movie. Like it's this movie. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this is what it is. The first thing I think stairs, I think holidays. Like I think a house with stairs, I think holidays because of this movie. It's because it feels like this is what Christmas feels like. You know, so seeing that, like them going upstairs to the attic, to the basement, to the main floor, and just how busy the house was, not just from people standpoint, but just from a decor standpoint. It was just like that's how it was, and then nobody batted an eye. With all it, like every room had, and then like Buzz's room, you know, having all the giant Jordan wallpaper and the like the wallpapers and you know fish tank or spider tank, like just all of that, like man, you know, it was I don't know, man. You really had to be there. I never quite got a room like that, but my goodness, you know, every time I see that, it definitely makes me want to be a child that's grown up. Like I definitely wanted to build we were talking about that today. Like, yeah, we're gonna definitely build a tree house. Like once we buy a home and get the land, we're gonna build a tree house. Like I don't care how old I am. Like we're getting that. So another question I got. What do y'all, this has been a question asked for years. What do y'all think the dad does for a living? Because it's clearly on him. Hey, I've heard this. I'm imagining somewhere, somehow, at some point. There's a little crossover idea that I've heard, and it kind of ties into another podcast I'm involved in. But I know, shout out, matter of fact, I didn't get to say this, but shout out to our big cousins, Kosher Garden. Y'all go listen to them, follow them. But the character that plays the father in here, he also plays in The Sopranos. He's in the first season of The Sopranos, and he's a dirty cop in that show. So he's obviously involved with the mob in some sense. So there's like a hot take to say like, oh, the worlds are tied together type of thing, you know, possibly. I mean, I'm sure it could be torn away because of how it all lines up. And I mean, that's like later, but there's a lot of things that people have theorized. So I want to see what y'all theory on what y'all think he could possibly do for a living. That he could take the whole family to Paris during Christmas when we know the tickets is high.
I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he could be a lawyer, but he wasn't much of the talker. So that's the thing. It's kind of like he didn't exude dominance as far as the parent structure. So like, I don't know. I don't know what I think he does. I mean, they were first class as well, so you got to put that in there. I don't know. Somebody got a bag though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like I remember them saying that his brother was the one flying everybody to France.
Frank?
No, not Frank. So if you remember, because this is something that I didn't pay attention to until literally like right now.
Okay.
Watching it for the pod, was his brother his brother got transferred to France to work, but his kids were still living and going to school in the States. And so he was flying the whole family to Paris for the holidays. And they were like taking their kids out there. Because like in that beginning where you see everybody bustling around and Harry's there casing the joint and trying to like talk to all the kids, and they're like, oh, my parents live in Paris. Like, so like they had nieces and nephews, and then the mom, Kate, comes to talk to him, and she's like, yeah, you know, my husband's brother got transferred out to France, and like she was telling like all of this, but there's so much going on that I don't think I ever paid attention to it. But like just like the size of the family, the size of the house,
at least that
fact that even if they didn't pay for the flights, they were able, I'm sure they upgraded, because they were talking about the kids being in coach while they were in first class. And she was even looking at more first class flights just to get back to Kevin. She had, you know, money to give away. Like there was like they had some money. They had a lot. But it never was like, it's always been the joke that his dad sold drugs or something.
Yeah.
But
he's the Walter White.
Even the way his dad saw the cop and he just comes out, he's like, am I under arrest or something? He just said, you know, like matter of factly, like, what you do? Are you a criminal?
Yeah.
Running a Ponzi scheme or something.
Yeah. But some stockbroker type stuff. That sounds like a 90s trope, like some kind of stock.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's like, they live in Chicago, so it's like he has to be some sort of, maybe he's a banker because they
banker.
make
Yeah,
a decent amount of money, and that's kind of a Midwest, like, yeah,
maybe real estate. Maybe
could be real estate. Yeah.
he got a little charm about him. I could see maybe. You know,
He
I
could
don't
be a
know.
pharmacist, you know.
Pharmacist. That's funny.
Hey, Kate paid that $122.50 for the pizza though.
Mm.
Cash.
Yeah, they was
Sweet.
wilding like,
With a big
bro.
T.
Like,
As a
that's
pizza,
what I'm
well,
saying.
we'll get
Like,
into. I guess we'll get. I know that's in the moments. I'll let it marinate. Uh,
sheesh.
so now here's the crazy thing. Like I was in. I don't know if y'all were as well, but I was introduced to Joe Pesci, which plays Harry, as in this. As a kid, I was in. This is all I knew Joe Pesci for was this movie. Like remembering him from him, like, oh, that's the dude from here. Until I got older and I started seeing him in mobster movies, and then I was like, oh, he's not funny. Oh, he's scary low key. Like he's for real playing gangster. I didn't know he gave it up like that. And so now with that whole understanding of seeing some of the classic uh, mobster mafia movies, I don't know if y'all have seen them. Maybe if y'all have seen him in other roles that was obviously not like this. But what did y'all think about this? This was him really doing a whole flip on a role. He's known to be the tough, wise guy. He's now playing this comedic role in this movie. What did y'all think about how he did here?
Um, I think he did good. I hadn't seen him in anything else, me personally. So
I gotta send you something.
I would say this is my introduction to him, and that's probably where it ended. Unless I can't think of anything that I've seen him, unless you name some things, maybe I've seen it. But
Mm-hmm.
so for me, just seeing him play this role, I think he did good. Um, you know, the smarter of the dumb criminals, that type of role.
Yeah.
You always got the dumb and dumber. So,
yeah.
Yeah, he did good to me.
The crazy thing is, Joe Pesci is so funny. Like, if you've seen like Lethal Weapon, like he was a comedic role in that too, and that was like the 80s, the earlier 80s when that came out. But yeah, if you like Casino, Goodfellas, and more recently like The Irishman, he's really known mostly for his like mobster movies, which surprisingly, me being the horror loving lover girl that I am, I really love like mob movies. And
oh, that's fire.
I like heist movies, mob movies, stuff like that. So I was very familiar with Joe Pesci. But this was my introduction to him as well with this. And I always loved his character. They're like you're rooting so far against them and seeing them continue to get like beat up by all the booby traps is such a it's so good. It's like a good feeling. But the reactions he did a job.
Yes, he did. Like now that I watched, like Ash, you should. I probably want to. I mean, both the movies is long. I would advise you to go to Casino. It's it's too long. It's a movie that's too long for no reason, and it's not. It's 3 hours, bro. But I would say go check out Goodfellas. Hell, I mean, really, you should check out Sopranos first. If y'all ain't already heard it already, go listen to another podcast I'm involved in, Good Earners, reviewing the Sopranos. If y'all into stuff like that, but you should definitely check out. That's just an interesting genre. I think you would be into. Kind of. I think all the jokes and everything we do on that show, it would like resonate. Like, okay, this is how guys they talk with their hands and they handle business a certain way. But if you see Joe Pesci in there. That was a dude. There was a guy on SNL that was talking about Joe Pesci, like on his appearance or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, he was talking to him. He was like, hey, unless you don't come from this, you don't call it, you don't get to call us guineas, you don't get to call us any of that." He's like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Pesci. Like, I'm just doing what they wrote for me." He's like, "Hey, you're not doing that anymore." He's like, "I apologize. I will not do that anymore." He said, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "Because I don't want to disrespect. I'm just busting your balls." And he was like, "Yeah, no." I think he was really about it. Like I was really scared. I was like, So Joe Pesci definitely
get that off quick.
Yeah, like yeah, shut it down, buddy. But like, yeah, he's known, and he was on the Arsenio Hall show back then, wasn't he? I think he was on the Arsenio Hall show back in the day. So I was like, okay, cool. And I think he had talked about how he he doesn't have a issue with any race because he said he come from New York and it was just so many of us, so many different ethnicities there back in the day. So he bust balls with everybody. So,
And crazy enough, Joe Pesci is like 5'4".
oh
He's
yeah,
teeny tiny,
hmm
but you won't play with him though.
no, you won't. No, you won't. Somebody tried to play with his name one time. He worked him. I heard. They instead of calling him Pesci, they was calling him Pipsqueak or something like that. I heard he worked dude. Like, what? My name is Pesci. Hey, don't play with me.
Yeah, you can't always go off of just because they're tall. That don't mean nothing. You
Yeah,
just
bro.
fall harder. So
Yeah, bro. I
you
will
know,
work you. Yeah. So,
shit.
I thought I had one more thing in this section. It may have. I think that might do. That may do. I think that could serve. Anything else y'all want to bring to like the overall discussion piece to this film before we get into the moments that was all that? Okay. Oh, one more thing. This probably more for me than Ash, but you're welcome to respond. Have you ever seen the theory that Kevin McAllister is Saul? Have you seen this before?
No.
Listen.
What?
It's a great theory online. Like y'all, if y'all ain't heard this before, they said because of Home Alone 1 and 2, they said this, and they worked the whole thing through how he could be Saul because of Let's Play a Game and how diabolical he is with traps and stuff. Listen, the through line, the Saul character's hair is blonde, like because of undealt with issues of being left twice. Like, listen, make people appreciate like that theory is so good. Like, y'all, I promise you. So, Mia, in your spare time, I know you're the horror girl, so you might be into something like that. So I don't know if y'all heard that, but that is one of the most interesting theories I've ever heard. Crossover film theories or whatever.
That's hilarious. Like, and I would be willing, like, I'll look it up if I didn't already know the whole storyline and life story of Jigsaw so much already.
Yeah.
No, but but that's funny because in a way, yeah, you could see it.
Mm-hmm. The traps just grew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, okay.
Became deadly, huh?
Oh man, goodness great. I mean, but he's already dead low key. Now, but all right, Ash, we'll throw the ball in your court. So getting into moments that was all that. Let's start with you. What you got?
Of course, got to have the opening scene. I mean, they put us right in the crib. It's chaotic. It already gives you the dynamic of the household. It's just everybody's everywhere doing their own thing. It's like this is the norm. So this wasn't something that was just out of the norm for everybody to just be loud and spread across. And then the cop is just right in the house. It just starts you. He's already in here. Like, who opened the door, even let him in? He opened the door for the pizza man. Like, nobody is realizing this guy is here. Even when the pizza man comes, they just go in there. Oh, my wife's gonna pay. They already start eating. Like, dude ain't even got paid. And y'all just sitting down acting like these are strangers in your house, right? Like, what's going on? They just at the front, y'all still just doing whatever. I mean, they could have went upstairs, anything, but it just again takes you into the dynamic of the household. And then obviously we get Kevin. He goes upstairs. He's trying to talk to his mom about watching a movie, and she's on the phone, pretty much brushing him off. So you already get the like, Kevin, get out. Pops comes in there. Same thing, like, hey, just shooing him away, pretty much, And his siblings, obviously introduced to them how mean they are. And so it gives you the dynamic right away that Kevin is not favorable. And he's one of the younger siblings too. That's the crazy thing. It's like, dang, like he seems so much younger than y'all, and y'all just like really hate this dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gotta have the opening scene, just how chaotic it is, and just yeah.
I'm
glad you got that too, man.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, it's so 90s. It's very 90s, or it's very yesteryear.
Yes.
Because just like I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people I grew up with, like, people in the 90s were a lot less there was a lot less security concern. Maybe
Mhm.
people in neighborhoods like that didn't even lock the front door.
For
Like,
sure.
so, everybody's running around. They're not paying this police officer any attention, police officer anyway. Um,
Right.
and the mom, like, they're running around. The mom is basically telling this faux police officer all their business. Like, there's just no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no aware
Precautions. Awareness.
caution. Like, everybody is just very open. But even then, so one, you kind of get like a sense immediately, like Ash said, that Kevin is not the favorite, which is crazy because being a baby in the family, a baby boy, you would think that he would be like kind of spoiled and coddled. But
Mhm.
no, like his siblings treat him like trash. His parents are kind of indifferent and like brushing him off. But you also get a little glimpse when he's saying he made something out of his dad's fish hooks, that he
Mhm.
likes to get into stuff. He likes to make things and he meddles a little bit. He's he's very kind of bratty,
Mhm.
but in a like pay attention to me kind
Yeah,
of way.
yeah, for
You're
sure.
not listening to me. I want somebody to pay attention. Like, you're not listening. And you see it even when, you get to the scene where they're eating the pizza and Buzz eats his last slice of cheese pizza and then pretends to throw it up. And he like, tries to tackle Buzz. So Kevin ain't no little,
Punk.
yeah, he ain't no punk. He's had to hold his own, but at the end, he always gets blamed because nobody cared that Buzz was being an asshole. It was
Mhm.
just, look what you. So the thing, like, not even his immediate family, his
The
cousin,
uncle.
his uncle, like that. Hey, look what you did, you little jerk. Hold on now. Who you
Hey,
talking to? Don't talk to my child like that.
Right.
yeah. Hey,
Like,
buddy.
that was crazy to me. He said that everybody's just staring at him, even his parents. I'm like, y'all not going
Mm-hmm.
You ain't
to
never gonna get that off. Like,
like, hold on.
Mm-mm.
that's a cultural difference. Again, shout out
It
to
gotta
Culture
be.
Garden.
For sure.
It's not a color thing, it's the culture, right? It's
Hey,
definitely a coach. Like, there's no way if my kid has done something that ruined whatever's on the table, it made a big mess, whatever. Like, you'll never get that out your mouth. Like, you'll never get that out. You'll never think you can get that out your mouth. You know what I mean? That's one of the things you'll be talking to other family when I'm not around about my child. You will never get that out your mouth in my presence. So the
yeah,
fact that is crazy to me. Like, you know, and I mean, Kevin had a great point. Like, again, I'll speak to a little bit things I would change about the movie that they didn't get right as far as this scene, because this is a part of that. But yeah, it's just I agree with y'all for sure. Uh, I got actually my scene is the next scene is the rush the getting up in the morning, the power went out, and they're rushing to the airport. They get up, they're rushing, and they're like, oh, they gotta go, and they got it. Okay, and another thing I'll throw in there, but they got 45 minutes to get to the airport. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna even elaborate. For your face. I'm not gonna elaborate on that at this moment. We'll come back to that. Trust me, we're coming back to that for me. But they got 45 minutes to get to the airport, to get this big old family on this car to the airport so they don't miss their flight. 45 minutes. They get everybody up and get moving, and some random kid in the neighborhood is over there talking to the guy like, bro, why are you not at your house, bro? They had to be at the airport at 8 o'clock sharp. What are you doing at 7 something or 7:15 over here talking to a random, courier? Like, it's crazy. I mean, it's 90s, of course, but like, bro, there's no way you're fully dressed. Like, what are you doing? You get out your bed like, oh man, I'm gonna put on my snow boots. I gotta put on my scarf. I got a hat on. I'm about to go over here and see what the neighbors are doing at 7:15 in the morning. All right. So, anyways, so they end up doing the sister end up doing the count, and she touches his head and pretty much counts him as Kevin. They rush to the airport, and they don't realize that obviously Kevin is there, and they take off on the flight or whatever. So I got that scene, of course, just because it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. It's very good. It's one of the most memorable things about this is because you hear that, that song that we know in so many of our favorite childhood films. So that's what I got, is just that rush to the airport moment. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. And, it probably took a lot to shoot something like that, because the coordination of it all, of people going upstairs, downstairs, putting in fast forward, like all that, it took a lot to get that scene across. So yeah, that's what I got as my moment that was all that. What about you, Ash?
I have something a little earlier, but I have that scene also. I have the introduction of the old man. What's his name?
Old man Marley, Mr.
Yeah.
Marley.
Old man Marley. Just a quick snippet of that. Like, obviously rumor has it that he's like a murderer and
Man,
he has victims. And again, he wasn't talking. So like, just being an 8-year-old, if I am Kevin, like, yo, he do look kind of crazy. Like, you got the scruffy beard, you always outside, you be
them
dragging
wide
your
black
boots, dragging the boots. And so it does. I mean, I wouldn't say you a murderer. I ain't gonna put that on you, but you do look a little crazy. You just always popping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Buzz, of course, telling this story and all that. And then my thing is like, how do you know this story? Like, who is spreading this around where the kids are getting access to this information? Like, is this going around at school? Like, what are we doing? So yeah, I did have that little part, the introduction of the old man. And then yeah, the wake up, we slap in, just of course, I'm sure Mia might touch on where they send Kevin up to the attic, and he calls his mom a dummy, and he's like, I'm living alone. Like a little bit before that, he's stomping like, when I get older, I'm living alone.
She said, I wish I didn't have no family. Say that again.
Right, say that again. He stood on business. Like,
stood on business.
Stood on business. You hear me?
The funniest thing was he was like, when I grow up and get married, I'm living alone.
Hey, that is so us back in the day. Ooh, I can't wait till I get older. When I get older, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Like, you be so mad after you get in trouble, bro. Yeah.
Hot.
Relatable content.
But it'd be the best sleep though. After you super hot.
Oh yeah.
Why do you sleep so good? I don't understand.
Because all that, that's a cardio workout, right?
Hey, I think I sent both of y'all that video IG where
the whipping and to get the silent in between. Like, oh my God. Oh man, the 90s was different.
Detrimental, right? But yeah, so all that, man, all that is all that. For sure. Like the whoopers was hey.
Listen. It's crazy. Now you can't it's as crazy as you can't. I ain't gonna say you can't, but let me speak for myself. We did some with your child. You really can't see it. Like it just feels different in this era. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you've definitely seen some apparel at some point. You know what I mean? You've definitely seen apparel because it required it, but it's less and less. You find it less and less with dealing with your child, right? And it's like, I can't even imagine that on a normal basis. So it's like, what were we doing?
Yeah, it was Mia. So I have two brothers and I'm the youngest. They got the most whoopings. Like, they were definitely getting rocked around the room. And so I didn't experience those type of whoopings. Like,
nah.
I didn't.
You was in and out.
That.
You got in and out. I got in there, got out of there. Like, it wasn't, you ain't really.
Yeah.
Anyway, man. Sorry. With a little side thing.
I'm a gentle parent with these non-gentle kids. It don't work, but whatever.
Yeah, you made your decision. One more thing before I know it's on your scene. This going back to that. I'm about to say old man Ackerman. The old man Marley story. that's so 90s too. Like it's just like back in the day, like there is no I got Google I got a research thing at the tap of my fingers to find. It's like that was everything. Whatever you told me is what I believe, and that's the narrative until I find out otherwise. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to ask anybody in the neighborhood, any kids at school, or what. I may spread it if anything, like you heard about, but it's like that was the 90s. Like you had to live off of whatever somebody told you. That was what it was. Believe it or don't believe it, but that was it, and that was kind of the fun and adventure in the 90s in a sense. You know what I mean? Like now it's like it's very hard to be surprised now. You got to really work hard to surprise people. You know what I mean? Versus back then, it's like who else gonna tell you otherwise? So, but it's on you, Mia.
Well, going back, so yeah, I had the rush around scene, and even before that, like that when Kevin was getting sent up to the attic, you know, he basically, once he got up there, he's like, I wish my family would disappear. So, of course, they get up, they're rushing around. I just think it's crazy. And maybe this is because of the size of the family. Having your daughter do a head count,
Okay,
and then you get in the van and you don't look for all of your children's faces. You get all the way to the airport. Now, this is before TSA, because TSA wasn't implemented until after 9/11. So, you know, they don't have to go through the massive security that we go through in the airport now.
That's
But you
wild.
get to the airport, you get on the plane, you are 3,000 miles in the sky, and you ain't seen your child from the time you left your house, and you ain't heard his voice. That's crazy.
You talk about being hot watching this. Well, I got smoke for her. We'll get there, but I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna wait until the time calls for it because I got smoke.
Hold on. So when Kevin wakes up, everybody's gone. But the whole just concept of, I get they're rushing. I get they have to be, I guess they live down the street from the airport because ain't no way you get in there in 45 minutes.
Yes.
And making your boarding time, but whatever. In the Christmas season when the airport is packed,
bruh.
And you're going international, you got to go through customs. Hollywood magic.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that, and you ain't looked for your okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep just going with it. We're gonna keep going with it. Like, right? It's like, okay, all right, it's believable still. All right. God, you just went by a number. Like, that's crazy. Like, she said, should be this many kids. You went by the number. Okay, you said this number. Cool. That's it. That's enough for me. That's cool. I promise you, I got so much smoke for that. Like watching this.
All the venom they have for Kevin, you would think they would be like, Kevin's not annoying me right now. Is he not here?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
It's like, where's that little jerk? Where's the little dweeb at? You know what I mean? Just so I can annoy him some more.
Nobody noticed he wasn't there. Dad, mom, auntie, uncle, cousin, brother, sister. Nobody noticed he wasn't there.
Somebody noticed and didn't say nothing though. That's my theory. One of them says, Kevin ain't around. Hey, well, they just gonna have to figure it out because I can't stand him anyway. Somebody knew. It's just impossible. Like, they just didn't say anything. Like, so when they found, oh man, dang, Kevin is gone. Oh man, that's crazy. Somebody definitely was like, I'm cool with it. I'm gonna ride this thing out to Paris. Feel me?
That's crazy.
Because you know how it is when you with a big group of people. Somebody already knew. You might have been the person already knew. You just didn't say anything. Like, well, shoot, they just gonna have to figure it out. Then when they figure out, I'm surprised with everybody.
That's crazy.
Somebody, I'm telling you, that's just statistics, bro. Somebody knew. But yeah, I think it's on you, Ash.
Let me see where we at. And the lady didn't even look at their boarding passes. She did a quick head count too. Like, did we miss it? And they're like, no. And she did a quick, like, you didn't even look at the names on the passports. The boarding pass. I mean, just sit anywhere that's available. Like, hey, yeah, right.
That's the highest level of anxiety, bro. I don't know if y'all have ever been through that. When you're running late to the airport, that level, I don't know if I felt any. I mean, there's been other things super anxious, but like, man, I remember Ash. We was leaving y'all crib, like I think or something. I don't remember what we were doing, but we were leaving y'all crib. Actually, yeah, you was taking us to the airport, I believe, but you had me drive your car, I think.
Probably so. That sounds right.
And I was like whipping through the line. I don't even drive fast. I'm not a fast driver. That's not my lane at all. Like I'm a cruiser, and like I mean, barely.
Yeah.
Like we were moving. Come on, Zach. Come on. Like we moving just like the McAllisters. And man, let me tell you, bro, you better hope your bag ain't too big or you paid for something. You don't need no holdups. You're sitting in there. Let me hear it. Get your shoes. You got shoes off. Get your shoes off. Like you try, like you try to be all the way ready and get through the X-ray. And I'm like, man, that is the worst. Now imagine here it's not as bad, even though they're rushing. But now, oh my God, like that.
And
Going through TSA alone is like, I ain't gonna make it.
that 90s airport security was different. You just walked right to the gate. You remember when you could meet your loved one at their gate when they got off of the airplane?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I don't even, airplanes wasn't even really a thing for us in the 90s. That's the thing about it. We all people I knew was driving. Like this was almost like a new concept recently, like for real. I ain't gonna even lie. People driving 8 hours, whatever, from whatever state to come visit Indianapolis. Like,
I flew.
Bro.
Yeah. I was just saying, I flew a lot as a kid, like even by myself, but that's because like my favorite aunt, one of my close relatives, she lives in LA and she's been living there since I was little, and I would visit her all the time, and or she would come visit us, and we could always just go to the gate and wait for her to get off of the airplane. Like we would see the plane come in, be sitting there waiting, and like to think about how lax airport security used to be is crazy. Like
you flew as a kid,
unaccompanied minor, multiple.
That is amazing to me. Every time I hear that, I'm like, how does that work? Every time I hear that. Wow. Okay.
That would give me anxiety.
Ooh, just sit right here.
Scared of flying until I was grown. I used to be chilling.
I look now, you be like, nah, there's no way you let your kids do that.
You're like, what? Chris Brown out here.
Yeah, you're like,
don't let the pressure. But
yeah,
I got the scene where Kevin wakes up and he realizes he's the only one at the crib. I mean, he got bedhead, you know, he got his little night clothes on, looking like an old man. He come downstairs, he in the kitchen, ain't nothing going on. It's all clean. Like, I made my family disappear. And then he has that reminiscent moment of all the mean things. And then he get happy. I made my family disappear. So he like, oh, it's finna be lit. So of course it's starting off good. Just him excited, like, oh, I get to do anything I want. Nobody to tell me no. What's one of the first things he does is put in that movie. What is it? Angels of Filthy Souls or something like that. I think it was called. Angels of Filthy Souls is crazy work title, but
it is.
So he puts that in. He eating ice cream. He's like, Mom, I'm eating rubbish and watching whatever he said. Like, basically, no, you doing something you would have never got to do. And remind me, is this the movie that he was trying to watch that he said was not rated R? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like he's all good until the you know what I mean, until the strap come out. He gets scared. So yeah, I have that scene. Just him being alone and kind of enjoying the crib to himself.
You got 10 seconds to get your no good.
Okay, I'm gonna give you until the count of 10. Get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. Then you go from 1 to 10.
And then getting trigger happy is crazy. It's crazy now. 8-year-olds have seen so much worse now. Like you think that's like the worst. It wasn't even blood in that film. Like it was just overly excess shooting. Like now anyway. Yeah, that's good though. That's really good. Like that is keep the change, you filthy animal. Like we still use that. Like that is. Yes. Yeah, that we still use that. So for me, I got I had that, but going further, I got the wet bandits come to Kevin's for the first time, and he hides, and he comes out and says I'm not afraid anymore. I get you hear that? I'm not afraid anymore. And then he sees the old man. And the only thing about it, he ran back into the house and he got under the cover. And it was just something back in the day as a kid. You get under the cover, it just solved everything, right? You might have woke up from a bad dream, and once you get it together, you calm down. You get under the cover, and it seemed like no matter what the worst of things is happening, once I get under this cover, I'm safe. And I thought it was it's just a warm feeling it brought me as a kid. I was like, dang, getting under the cover, head under the pillow, whatever you were scared of, nervous from, it just brought me back to that. Like, that's like, man, as scary as the world is sometimes now, just back then, it's like you're not even aware of that severity, just your own thoughts. It's dark in the room or whatever it is, get under the cover, And so I don't know. I just thought that part of it more so than anything was just like, wow, I remember them days. So that's what I got. The Wet Bandits or whatever. I'm pulling up for the first time. All right, Mig G, what about you?
So within that same scene of Kevin like discovering he's the only one home, I have more about how he is just like practicing his independence, like at 8 years old. It just reminded me of being a little kid and like emulating and mimicking my mom. Like if she wasn't home, I'm all in her lotion, I'm all in her perfume, I'm putting her blush on in the mirror. He's all in the bathroom. He's like, I washed all of my body.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it, which is hilarious because little boys are gross. And then
that's for sure. That's a fact.
And then the famous like scene with the aftershave.
Like classic, man.
But it was just so cute to me, that little sense of wonder. And now when I see my daughter do it, when I catch her, where's my blush? Where's my lip gloss? And like I see like she has it, or she's like been in the mirror putting on, or she's been spraying perfume. And it just was like, as much as it drives you crazy that they got their stuff, but you just remember being a kid, wanting to be a grown-up and thinking it would be so easy to do everything on your own. And for a minute, it was, until he realized not so much. But so that, and then of course, I have the scene where the Wet Bandits come back, and just that first little glimpse of genius that you get from Kevin, because he'd have set up all these like dolls and
life-size boards and
life-size boards, cutouts, and play the music, and he's just sitting there pretending there's a party going on. So they come and they're like, I thought nobody was home. And he's like making them think that there was a party. I'm like, this little boy, look, watching this as an adult, it's like, this little boy is kind of a genius.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because me, the kid.
Not at all. Like I would find the coldest hiding spot. That's what I would. That's been genius for me. Like I got a spot where you can't even hear me. Back in the day, you playing hide and seek, and you can win long as you ain't caught breathing. So you're breathing like you're doing. You try to like hold the breath so tight, like So that would have been my best like genius from the Wet Bandits, is like trying to keep them from finding me and knowing where I'm breathing. Like I probably would have tried to stay somewhere in that laundry slot. Like, but only thing I just want to ask something real quick before I get in my scene. There was something about the curiosity of your parents' room. This you were talking about that, and you're talking about your daughter getting into your makeup, and there's this curiosity about going in your parents' room. It really that is a real nostalgia thing, because that room wasn't really no different from ours, but it was something that was special about it. I know back in the day our parents had like locks and everything on the door, so it's like that door was open, and like you may see what's up. I mean, you find things you definitely shouldn't have found in there, but like I mean, that's why it's their room, not yours. But that curiosity was so strong back in the day. What is in mom and daddy room?
Smelling all type of cologne and perfume.
Like, man, dang, look, what kind of soap they use? Like, man, you're so into what does their bathroom look like? It's so seriously, like that was like a real curiosity as a kid. Like it was like a distant land to you, So yeah, that's all. But the scene that I got is I'm probably a little further down, so because I only got a few more scenes to be honest. So I got the conversation between Kevin and the old man. So I don't know if y'all probably may have
Dang.
something before that. Yeah,
You way down there.
yeah. It
All
did,
the way.
all the way. Yeah.
We just sped this thing up.
Nah, but go
No,
ahead.
but
Y'all go ahead.
but I agree, kind of taking it back to where Mia was like, I had genius moment in my notes where he was like making them dance, and I'm like, this dude is 8, like Anthony's 8, and I just couldn't even fathom him being
Mm.
here so low. Like, what? He might make a bowl of cereal and be on Fortnite, but you know what I mean. So like
Mhm.
the genius, it was impeccable. And then I'm like, where did he get all these characters or cardboards? What, like, where did these? Unless they was just from his brother's room, probably something like that.
Yeah, he was using the whole house for sure. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you
I'm like,
notice, like
how you have time to set this up? So that just walks us into like he is, like she said, when he was playing with his dad Hooks, like he likes to get into things, likes to create. Um, but yeah, so I had that scene, and uh, I think I had the when the pizza man came.
oh yeah, okay.
You know, he ordered
Yeah.
the pizza, told him to go around back. Of course, it's a classic. Again, he's running this tape to the end at this point. This is his safe haven. This is his protector.
Yeah.
Is the dude on the tape.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, pizza man keeps hitting the statue in the front. Like, bro, you pulling in on 2 wheels every time. Like, why do you keep hitting? You can't gauge it. Like,
The courier hit it too in the morning.
it's like this household keeps ordering pizza. Like, you should kind of know where to stop at this point.
Right. That's crazy.
And so it's not breaking; it's just falling, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it
It's
must
one of
be
them
pretty.
heavy steel
Oh,
statues
okay.
back in the day.
Yeah, so he pulls around back. You know, he's like, "How much is it?" Something.
Yeah,
Gives
whatever.
him
Like.
$12, 11.50 or something. Yeah, he's like, cheapskate. So then, of course, he runs the tape. You know what I mean? Dude is running like the scene from the Pizza Man running. How realistic was that? Because like that's how I would be. Like if shots are really getting fired, bro, I'm
He got
all
the
in the
TV
snow. I'm
on
stop, drop,
max.
and roll. I'm in the snow heavy. Like I'm crawling, rolling. Yeah, I'm out of there. You don't hear no glass shatter or nothing. You just hey, ask questions later. So I had that scene.
You remember how loud the TVs was back then?
Very loud.
That's why I was like, it's believable because
Mhm.
these little weak flat screens now, you can't get no good volume on them joints.
Trash.
You know, back then though, the TVs with the butt on them, bruh, you turn that up to 78, it's gonna sound like real gunshots. Like that's why I was
Yeah.
like, bro, this is so 90. So that's all I want to add. That's it.
My
So,
TV, I have to put mine all the way on 100, bro. It's still not. I'm like, these TVs are boo boo.
yeah,
For
they
real.
got better vision, worse audio.
Because they gotta sell you the other stuff. You need the sound bar now. Like,
Right. Damn, the sound bar.
capitalism. Shout out to us.
Yeah, yeah. What you got, Mia?
Okay, so I actually have Kate at the airport once she realizes that they left Kevin, and now she's in a tizzy trying to figure out whatever she can do to get back home, to get back to Kevin. So she's offering the poor little old lady at the airport. She's like, I have 2, if you could leave tomorrow and I could take, and this is how it used to be at the airport too, because you can't do this anymore either. You can't just take somebody's flight. Like,
yeah, no.
You can't just switch flights and switch boarding passes with people anymore. But you used to be able to do that. Like, you could just swap boarding passes.
That's crazy now. That's crazy
Like,
now.
now, if your name isn't on that boarding pass, your ID isn't out when you get to that gate, it's a wrap for you. But yeah, you used to be able to do that. She's at the gate. They're about to board the plane, and she's trying to offer them, 2 first-class tickets if they leave tomorrow, $500, her earrings, her ring, her fake Rolex, because the lady's like, is that a real Rolex? You thought it was.
Right.
And,
She was like,
she's like, I'm desperate. Like, I'll do anything. It was like, girl, But you got all the way through the airport and got on a plane
No,
and didn't notice that your baby wasn't on the airplane. Like your 8-year-old,
it's crazy.
your youngest child. That's the one who's you grabbing the back of their coat the whole way to
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
airport, holding
Yes.
their hood
Yes.
to make sure
Yeah.
that they're right next to you at all times. Girl, all right.
Yeah. The hood that snaps off with the buttons.
Yeah,
And
like
you still gonna grab the collar after the hood
your
snap
hand
off of it.
on the top of their head.
Yeah, like straight up. Oh, you remember that? You remember the hoods that snap with the mouth snap in the front?
Yeah, real Pursuit of Happiness moment.
Real
where he-
bubble coat vibes. Like,
Hey, the Pursuit of Happiness when Will was like trying to catch the bus. Hey, come on. Toy drop everything. He was hot, but we could not miss this bus. You hear me?
no, listen, I've been there. I rode the bus with my daughter. I know like it's real. So all right, that's funny. What you got next, Ash?
Let me see. Cause I was kind of going scene for scene, so let me just kind of see what I feel like was all that.
What happened was this movie is one of those movies for me. All of it started to connect. I mean, well, not just connect, but it kind of flowed so much. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I liked it, but I didn't. I kind of was like, okay, that's kind of where I was. So that's why I kind of got way far down. So, but
No, I understand. Because
Yeah.
when it gets to the part where he start doing the traps and things, like I didn't write each thing
Yeah.
down because it was just kind of like a collective experience.
yeah,
So I get that. Let me see.
And while Ash is looking, I'll just say, even in that scene where Kate was at the airport and then she got on that flight and she gets to Sandusky and she meets, Gus Polinski, the polka king
Mhm.
of the Midwest,
Mhm.
you can see that she's really ashamed to even say that she left him. She's like, yeah, my family's in Paris and my son need to get home to Chicago because my son is there. Like she won't say I left my son at home on accident.
Mhm.
She's kind of like, ew.
You should be.
You did wrong.
You should be.
Absolutely. She was in complete wrong.
Yeah.
So I have where Kevin, like the fun is dying down at the house at this point. Like now he's starting to realize, okay, I really am alone. He's starting to kind of get a little sad. He keeping a picture of the fam with him under the pillow. And he's like, if you bring my family back, I promise I'll, do better pretty much. And then going into that next scene where he goes to the grocery store. I'm like, my boy is so smart. I mean, he knows where everything is. He walks to the grocery store. He's just trying to get a toothbrush, right?
Mhm.
And he said, "Is this
FDA
what-
approved. FDA
Approved
approved.
by the American Dental Association.
Oh,
Right.
FDA, yeah.
lady doesn't know?" She gets the manager. He like, I don't know. Then old man Marley comes in and he just puts his hand on the stand and he got blood on it. So I mean, again, you are giving off this like weird, creepy vibe. Like, why is there blood on your hand with this tissue wrapped around it? Like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, are you finna pay for my toothbrush or like, are you skipping the line? What are we doing? So that freaks him out. He's backing up. Hey, you gotta pay for that, little boy. Hey, you gotta pay for. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
So he runs out. He walking home. He's sad. I'm a thief. So yeah, I had that scene.
Chasing the kid, telling the cops thief or robber for a kid
Shop,
taking a toothbrush is
lifter.
nuts. Like, it's not a color thing; it's a culture thing. All right, Mia.
Okay, so I also had like the Kevin missing his family, but I actually had the moment when he went to see the fake Santa.
That was good.
Saying that, I know you're not the real Santa, but I know you work for him. And you can see that the Santa was kind of like feeling bad for him. And then Kevin ends up at the church. And I know you have the scene when he's talking to old man Marley. So that's the scene I had. And all I'll say about it, because I want you to be able to say what you had, because that was your next scene. But the conversation is so crazy that everybody in Kevin's family looked at him as he was like, incompetent little baby who needed everything done for him, but he was super self-sufficient. super smart, and he was very insightful. Like when we say he wasn't a good kid, but you could tell that he had a good heart,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very wise for his little young age, because that he gave old man Marley better advice than and he's
Mm-hmm.
in his 70s, 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that conversation he had was super heartwarming. And I was like,
Yeah.
I know you'll probably get into it, but it was just kind of, once we get to the moral of the story, it just kind of, he was giving him that encouragement that he needed to face that fear that he had. He's like, I miss my family. If I could do something to get my family back, I would do it. So you do it too.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, everything you're saying, just same thing. Heartfelt, very warming. And I just love, like, there's always these opportunities, moments where you misjudge something, and you find out otherwise. And that was just one of those moments interesting, like, because the film, they do a great job of manipulating our thoughts, like what's up with this old guy. And then when that moment comes and how you see how warm he is, our whole, just as Kevin's mind has changed, our mind has changed. And we don't even see him as scary anymore. Or, this creepy, weird, carrying the shovel, got these wide black leather boots on. We don't even see him like that no more. We see him like, okay, this is an old man he's really going through it, and we feel bad for him now. We're not scared of him anymore. And, then of course we'll root for him later. So that's more so what Mia said. That was just kind of my B-side to that part of it. So, Ash, I imagine we all got this part.
Yeah, I had that scene as well. Everything y'all said was right on the money. Shout out to an 8-year-old taking accountability. He was like, "Yeah, I've said some things I shouldn't have, and I haven't been so good this year." I'm like, dude, wise beyond his years.
Yeah, he
Like,
gonna
this
be
is
all
an
right.
8-year-old. Like, he is killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to McCully. He did an amazing job. But yeah, like,
Man.
I mean, he dropping gems to the old man. So it's just like he trying to receive his message, but also giving it too. So even though, like I said, we didn't determine if he was a bad kid or good kid, I mean, he had to have this instilled in him somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes you wonder, who did he get this from? Like,
Mm-hmm.
to have this heart and be mindful of others and have empathy and stuff like that, when his family just doesn't seem like they exude that. So it does make you wonder. I mean, there's some good in there somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, again, love the scenes, just heartfelt, and it was nice.
I didn't get to ask. That was the last question. Did y'all have any other kid in mind? I mean, obviously '90s, some of the kids that we start to find out about later in the '90s, early 2000s. But like, did y'all see any other kid that y'all felt could have played this
Hmm.
around, like, at that age, probably, like?
You know what? Like, I don't even know that many um child actors that I would have been like super familiar with from back then.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same way that, because like if you go back to the 90s, I remember like Devin Siwa, he was like a big
What is he
90s.
from?
So Casper, the Friendly Ghost, he was Casper,
Mm-hmm.
and he did his voice, and it was him when he turned into like the boy. And he was in some other stuff. And then of course, as he grew up, shout out to him, he was the star of the Final Destination.
Oh wow!
I
Hmm.
love
Ooh.
it.
Man, that
But
movie. My goodness.
I can't wait.
I know you can't. Oh man.
But yeah, like I don't really see any child stars that could have done it the way that Macaulay Culkin did it. He was just like a one of a kind
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
kid.
I
I
agree.
go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I feel like it was more childhood stars that were like girls, more so
Mm-hmm.
known than like it was with boys. So yeah, I can't think of one that
Okay.
I see that could have done it.
Now again, the timeline won't work, but I'm just saying, if this movie was revealed like later, I got a few.
Hmm.
I think Lindsay Lohan. I think when she, Parent Trap or whatever, how they did there, I think she could have totally. I would the way she played two different twins. I think Lindsay Lohan could have pulled this off. I
Gender
think.
swap.
I
Oh,
think
you're
Ray,
saying either or. Okay. I
like
thought you
I
just
think
meant
Raven
like
Simone could have pulled this off. Like a young, like that baby, not baby, but like I don't know, hanging with Mr. Cooper, maybe a little later, but how smart she was. And my
Taj.
Taj
Taj.
probably Taj
Yeah,
Mowry.
Taj Mahal.
Taj
Yeah.
Mowry. That is a great pick.
Mhm.
And my last one I would say Orlando Brown. People forget Orlando Brown was a childhood, like
He
before he was like
was.
teenage childhood, like
Major.
Major Pain, like yeah, and Fresh Prince and stuff like that. Like he could, I think he could totally have played like this. Again, nobody would have did what Macaulay Culkin does, and I would say I'm trying not to bring kind of the racial aspect into this show because it's for everyone, but I do think it does. This movie does work better for this premise for Caucasian family. I think so because of what all the flack we're giving the mother. It makes a lot more sense. I just don't see if this is not a Caucasian mother. If this was a black mother, it just doesn't work. The movie would have bombed, like because it's not believable. So I'm glad they did it this way, but just in our own theory, childish grown up universe that we created here, I think there's some interesting kids. So that was a little sidebar. I'm sorry. I just did not want to do this without forgetting that. But Ash, so I know now we're here. Kevin versus the Wet Bandits, right? That's where you at.
Yeah, I think. Yep. That's it.
Okay, what you got about that?
Well, I have the part where they're come back to the house again. They're talking outside out loud. Say we're gonna come back at 9 o'clock. They realize he's home alone, and
Mhm.
so fast forward, he heats up his little mac and cheese that he got from the from the grocery store, and got his little milk in the wine glass. About to eat. He set the clock for 9 o'clock because he didn't even get to eat, and so it's game time, and you know he pretty much just gets into it and he sets up the crib with all the bells and whistles for the booby traps. And I mean, he pretty much got him out of there.
Got him out of there.
I'm just saying, like, from the hot door handle, you know what I mean, to the fire head. I mean, that probably wasn't appropriate to say, but yeah, I know what I mean. The hair on fire. Let me read.
Firehead.
I apologize for the childish side.
The childish side of things.
Which I know what I mean.
That's
and
good. That's good.
Yeah, you got the taller dude who's just a freaking he's terrible. He's a layup, easy kill.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the spider. Yeah, got the spider on him. He was freaking out. I would have been freaking out too. That spider was no joke, bro.
Oh man. That scream.
Yes.
These actors,
the scream was real.
The actors did such a good job because I don't know if they got stunt doubles or what's going on, but every reaction feels perfect.
Mhm.
Like when he get hitting the balls, it's like, oh, that like that whole thing every time. Like even the tall dude going through the window barefoot, crush the ornaments. I'm gonna kill that kid. Like by the time that happened, bro, he is so mad. Like I am going busting through the door. Like all right, I'm sick of this. Like everything about it. I'll let you go ahead and get into it as well. But the reactions were perfect, bro.
Oh my goodness. Harry and Marv are the perfect villains, like for this kind of movie. There was and matter of fact, I feel like I could be so wrong. So please let us know in the comment section and maybe I'll look it up in between. But I feel like they were doing a lot of their own stunts. I feel like a lot of this was like physical comedy that they were, because the guy who played Marv, who not Joe Pesci, the other one whose name Daniel Stern. I feel like I saw like an interview with them later on in life talking about like everything that they did and how they went through the process. And it was just like they were enjoying it so much that, matter of fact, it's a show on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. And I was
I remember that.
and they were talking about this, but it was just so like I realized like this, like when we did Toy Story and I said that I realized that I hadn't watched toys like the original Toy Story in a while. I felt like the same way about this. I feel like I've seen Home Alone 2 not only more often but more recently than I've seen the original Home Alone movie. And I just kind of forgot like that is so funny. But again, it's super 90s, just like with Jingle All the Way, where they are going through it. He didn't put a blowtorch to this man's head. He got the steps icy. I put some of them in my notes. He put he sent the iron down the laundry chute and smacked his man in the head with it. He shot him with a BB gun through the doggy door. He put glue on the stairs. Um, he was fucking these robbers up. But in true 90s fashion, they were perfectly fine. They were okay.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you're messed up, but they were okay. And that's the thing that I love about like these kind of family films for the holidays because it's so funny and you can really laugh at it because the reactions to the booby traps and the way they're executed and the way he reacts when he gets them, he's like, yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's just so funny. And
Mhm.
I found myself laughing, like literally laughing while I was watching it. I didn't put a whole lot of it in my notes because it's so specific. Like
Yeah.
it's not like character driven moments, but just little moments. And but it was just so funny.
No, it
Like it was
was.
a real feel good film that you just like laugh and smile watching.
Mm.
And those moments were just hilarious.
Real quick, what do y'all feel is the most painful trap? I would say right off rip, to me, it's the iron. Like every time I see it, I said, "Listen,
Yeah.
an iron coming full speed, flat side, down a laundry chute, and I mean full speed. You know, I don't know if it's hot. It's hot, obviously, I guess, because he got him. Or maybe it ain't hot. Maybe he just bruised him. But like, if it's hot and it's heavy, like, bro, that to me, there's there's a close runner up, but to me, that's like the worst trap. Like to me, or most painful. I feel watching. So, what about you, Ash? What do you feel is like the most painful trap?
The iron, yeah. I've actually got burnt by an iron before as a kid. It was like I was just being stupid, but like I had got like I burnt my lip like a little. I
Oh, it
was
was your
like,
lip? I forgot
yeah,
about
I
that.
got close up on it. I don't know what I was. I was like, let me
Just
just see.
being a
Just,
daring
ah,
it, like yeah, like
yeah. So it was. I was so mad too, but because it's your lips. Like, come on, man.
yeah,
But I was just being a kid. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, probably iron. Yeah,
Mm.
hot and ready.
What about you, Mig G?
As someone who has ADHD and burns myself just accidentally all the time, like taking stuff out of the oven, ironing, just I've done it so many times. Like I have, but I've also had a really significant burn on my hand. So that hot doorknob, like the way his hand looked after
Mm-hmm.
he took it and put it in the stove and it was red and there was that M. I was like, it may not hurt that much right in that moment,
Oh,
but give it a couple hours. That is going to blister and bubble. It is going to hurt so bad.
yes, yes.
We.
The close runner up is the nail. Like I think it's an underrated one. Like the dude foot going through the whole nail was like,
Yeah, that's
oh my
a nail
god.
through the foot.
Whew. Every
Yeah.
that's up like that probably is my like next to like the spider on my face. That's probably would be like one of my biggest fears is like my foot going through a nail perfectly like that. It's like you got all kind of veins and muscles working. You know what I mean? But man, yeah, just their reactions was perfect. Like every time they it fit everything. Like Joe Pesci, his hair getting caught on fire, like all of that. And even like at the end when they put him in the car, he's just like, hey, watch the head. Like stop touching my burnt bald head right now. Like but I only got one scene left. I don't know if y'all got multiple scenes left. Ash, what you?
No, that was all I had. Like, I mean, of course, him reuniting with the mom and the family on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
I did have before that him escaping to Mr. Marley's house and him like saving him from the wet bandit.
Nice.
Not too much about it, but just like he saved him,
Yeah.
Him over the head with the shovel that he's been using to salt the sidewalk. Oh.
Yeah. Shout out to Old Man Marley, man. He said the actor that played it, I think I had it on Instagram, but he said this is like his most proud role too, by the way, playing this, because kids come up to him and they're like, you're the guy. And I don't know if he's still alive, but this is just one of his most proud roles. So to me, that made it feel even better watching the film, knowing that back information about Old Man Marley. So
I love it because we call my son Old Man Marley. We've been calling my son Old Man Marley since he was a baby.
Dang. So it's like right at home for you. That's dope. I love when that stuff happens. Yeah, I'm with you, Ash, but I just got more so the old man reconnects with his family. I thought that was beautiful. It definitely made me think about, shout out to the Stoop Kids, when Mr. Wynn reconnected with his daughter on Hey Arnold. What a beautiful moment. Like Arnold was trying to hook that up, couldn't get it done. Helga stepped in, and then Mr. Wynn in his building got to connect with his daughter. Every time I see this, I just think about that. So
I love that episode.
Yes. So yeah, but yeah, you can go ahead and get into that last part, Ash, with the family, unless there wasn't nothing else you want to add to the family coming back and reconnecting. But
I mean, that was pretty much it. Just how he woke up. It's Christmas Day. He went down first. Still nobody was there, and then obviously she comes in and he gives her this little look. He's, oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry. And then his face lights up and he hugs and he was like, where's the rest of the family? And then she was like, I'm sorry they couldn't make it. And then they stroll in, and so they're all back together. And Buzz is being kind of nice, I guess,
backhanded compliment.
Right. If you want to say that. But then he sees his room and
yeah, it's up again.
Went through the stash and talked about his girlfriend was trash. But
man, listen.
Knocked his whole shelf down.
He took his spider out of there.
Yeah, man. But that's pretty much it. Like, I just think it was beautiful how at least on Christmas Day they all still got to be together.
Yeah. Again, going back to Preacher's Wife. Preacher's Wife is gonna be one of those forever revolving doors. Y'all, not the movie itself. This is the high that we need. Like, if we're going to do this type of genre of film, we need this high, just like horror films. If we're going to do a horror film, put the stakes there and make us really believe they may not make it out. You know what I mean? Again, I can't say it enough. Like on Preacher's Wife, it's just the high didn't pay off. And this is what it feels like. As much as we look at it now and be like, man, I want Kevin to give her more of that stone face look he had. I want him to give him a little bit more of that. But I'm glad it was there. You know what I mean? Just to say, like, nah, it ain't just all good just yet, ma. So
right.
But yeah. Okay. Well, since we're now that is our moments that was all that, I'm gonna throw the ball in your court first, Mia G. Who's the character that you relate to or identify with the most in Home Alone?
This was tough because
yes.
Oh, come on now. None of these people.
None of these people.
But if I had to choose for just a few reasons, I feel like I could relate to Kate. Now, I would never leave the country and leave my baby at home alone. But as a mother, I do get overstimulated. And I can relate to those moments on the phone and your child is trying to talk to you, Ma. And you like, I'm on
Mm-hmm.
the phone. I can, I have ADHD. I get sidetracked. I don't, I have to double check myself multiple times. I can be a little bit neurotic. And so I can relate just on a general motherly level to some of the things that she was going through and how tough it probably is to manage a household and that
Yeah.
with that many kids and keep everybody on schedule and everything on track. So I can relate to her on that level, but that's as good as it's gonna get.
Mm. Okay. You reached in and found something. So I did. I did. What about you, Ash?
That's beautiful. I didn't have anyone because again, I just couldn't find myself in there anywhere.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose, I guess I'd go with Mia Kate, just on the mother side of things. Just a mother's work is never done. Scheduling appointments,
Yeah.
after school specials, along with doing your job. And if you're in school, just I'm in school as well. So kind of working, parenting, and schooling, and, being a wife as well. So just it can be overwhelming to have all those hats to be worn daily. So I can relate in that aspect. But
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
yeah.
And I guess like that's extreme and it fits for the movie, but I imagine all of us have had parental moments like, how did I miss this? So
Mhm.
we've had it's not this extreme to travel the world without your child, but there's a version of this that may be a little bit more minuscule that we could probably connect with Kate. It's like you know. So me, it's funny on the other side of the dad. Just it was hard as well, like to find somebody. But only thing I would say is just like the dad in like a high pressure, stressful situations. Trying to work through things with her. Did I forget something? Did we forget? Oh, okay, garage. You're right. And he's not picking up on it either. Which I mean, again, he should get smoke as well. Like we don't talk about it a lot, and you don't see that on online a lot. But the dad deserves smoke too. Like what? What? It's your boy. Like nah. But other than that, like just the way he's calm and handling the situation, and he stayed cool the whole time. Like I'm not saying I'm the coolest because I can definitely spaz out at moments too, but I know in those situations I've learned to like, okay, the wilder is getting, the calmer I gotta force myself because it's like it's gonna get the best of me. So the way he was cool about everything, even though it was like the worst thing in the world to leave your baby at home. So if I gotta pick somebody, it'd be the dad. But favorite song of the movie. This is kind of like, it fits more for the musical, to movies that got more musical appeal to it. But if y'all have something, by any means, bring it to the forefront.
I do actually.
Okay.
And it's another one of those like sentimental value type of things.
Mm-hmm.
So White Christmas by the Drifters, because me and my daughter listen to that like every day. She's really, really into Christmas music. So she loves the holidays. I have a playlist on my phone called Jovi's Christmas Jams.
Mm.
And we listen to it. She loves White Christmas by the Drifters because you know how it starts off with the one, he has a really deep voice, and then
Mm-hmm.
it goes up to the next singer. He has a really, really high voice. And the first time she heard it, she was like, that sounds like Mickey Mouse. So now when she
Mm.
asks to hear it, she doesn't call him Mickey Mouse anymore because she knows it's not Mickey Mouse. So she calls him Mickey Munch. And she's like, I want to song with Mickey Munch singing.
Oh, I love
And
it.
so that's my favorite song from this movie because it's the one that means something to
What's
me and my baby girl.
what scene was that in, by the way?
When he's in the bathroom, it's not the first scene when he's in the bathroom, but it's the second scene when he's in the bathroom and he just got out the shower
Mm-hmm.
and he's just in the mirror singing into himself in his little towel and he does the
Mm-hmm.
aftershave second time. He's singing White Christmas in the mirror.
Okay. Cool. That's big.
That's
That's
dope.
that's dope. That's dope. I love with kids just like remember things a certain way. That's just like one of the most adorable things kids do is they remember things in a funny way, and you know what they mean, so you just roll with it. Like, oh yeah, yeah, here come Mickey Munch. You know what I mean? So I love that. Like our daughter does stuff like that too. So what about you, Ashley? Did you have a song on this?
Yeah, I had Have a Merry Little Christmas. I saw that pop in because at first I was like, low key, the instrumentals
Yeah.
were coming through on this movie, so it almost was gonna be an instrumental, but I landed Have a Merry Little Christmas. So
Yeah. Mine's is if I gotta pick one, it's of course the morning scene when they get up, that whatever that is, we always hear that like that whole like that high stress, we gotta rush and do it, that movie thing that we always hear.
Like,
So it's definitely that.
like circus music almost.
Yeah, like that circus music, like we always like
mm-hmm.
you gotta get up, it's 9 o'clock. Like that music that we always seen in those 90s movies, that song is always one of my favorites. Mia G, things that you would change about the movie or the movie didn't get right.
Perfect.
Man, listen here. Okay. First and foremost, Uncle Frank would have had to hear from me because who are you talking to? Like that really bothered me when that scene happened at the beginning of this movie, and he's like, "Look what you did, you little jerk," and everybody's just standing there looking like, and I'm like, "Wow, y'all really okay, yeah, no, that's not gonna go in any family that I'm familiar with. That's not happening." And also, like you were saying about the dad, the way he reacted when they realized that Kevin was left at home and Kate's trying to get a flight, and they're saying, like, we don't have anything, that flies out until tomorrow. And he's like, listen, we're all tired. Let's just go
That's crazy.
to the hotel. You deserve some rest, and we'll get back and we can get there and we can try to call again. And she's like, are you crazy? My child is at home by himself in Chicago. We're in another country, and you talking about we're all tired? I mean, what? It just seemed like he was so nonchalant about the fact
he was. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, and that was just like, it's not giving fatherly protection, like sense of urgency, and that just really bothered me because I'll probably have to chop that.
Is that all the ones that you have for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ash.
I had the parental structure as well. Like he did get let off the hook. Like, I mean, she had the sense of urgency after she found out, but it's like you got to be more dialed in. Like, you know how many kids you got. You need to know everything about all of them. You know what I mean? And again, it just the dynamic from the beginning was set up like Kevin's just doing whatever Kevin's doing. Nobody was really taking the time with him. And, like you said, he ended up being a genius. So it's like he was very self-sufficient. He's very smart, adaptable, but I doubt they even knew all of that. But yeah, I didn't like how when she did say when the dad was like, we miscounted. That's what you said when she told you like we left Kevin. We didn't make a mistake. We miscounted. What are you talking about? Like divorce, please. Because this can't be the man that I'm married to. Like what? Yeah, I just didn't like that. It's just they didn't go hard enough to me
at all.
I didn't like it. And again,
that's good.
It's a culture difference. Shout out to the Culture Garden.
It's a culture.
Right. Because what's going on?
Ain't nobody cry. I ain't see nobody shedding no tears. Oh my God, Kevin.
Yeah.
It my heart would be in my stomach, bro. I mean, you know that anxiety where you can't think about nothing else. Mm-hmm. Your heart is in your stomach because it's like you just got some really bad news and you don't know how to figure it out. Like that feeling where you just Like you're at work where you damn near got to leave work because, or you just ain't gonna get nothing done because your throat is down here. Like you're like,
Yeah.
that's how I would feel if one of my children was not where they supposed to be, and I didn't. Man,
You finna get a whooping. You thinking about it like the
Mm.
anxiety is just
yeah,
rising. Like,
yes, the way you about to get a whoop. Yeah, that whole
Like-
feeling like wait till you get home. When you all day at school, you're thinking about when I get home. Man, that feeling on the bus, like now your throat it got real heavy because you're getting close to the destination. We about to get your
Hey.
ass beat.
the throat is closing.
Like yeah, it's locked, like heavy lumps in there right now, bro.
You don't know when it's gonna happen.
No,
you just
don't
know you're getting a
you
whooping
count on,
today.
oh, she get off at 3:30. I still got time to eat some cereal, get prepared. As soon as you hear them keys hit that, it's over.
I'll share this quick story back to you, bro. Yeah, my mama told me I was gonna get a whooping. It was after church. I don't know what I did. Maybe we was cutting up in church.
Yeah.
When we get home, go in the room, take all your clothes off, and you get the whooping. So of course I got a little dress on, I got my stockings. So I'm in there. I take my stuff off. Still got my stockings on. I'm just sitting on the bed like this, like. And then I'm like, dude, it's like 20 minutes. She never came in there. So I kind of poked my head like, Mama. And she's like, "Go put your clothes on." I was like, ooh.
See, you always got those. That was never that for us. Like mama calls somebody, yeah, girl, haha, yeah, girl. You think, oh, mama forgot. Then you hear that dresser. You hear them little dangles on the dresser back in the day. Nah, you knew.
Why
you
they
knew
had
that
so
belt was-
many belts too? Like it was a plethora of belts.
My goodness. All right. But that's you always got off on that. Like, put your clothes on. But for me, just more time with the family. We needed more time for that family dynamic. It just really wasn't established properly to me. I think that we could have had a day with the family, not just a night, and in the morning they got to go. We should have had another day, a whole day with Kevin and the McAllisters. So it kind of don't. It works. Obviously, it did crazy in the box office, but. So it's that. Also, to me, they was just too heavy-handed on the Kevin hate. It just wasn't believable. Like it didn't. I couldn't have made me believe this adorable little kid, is y'all all like like Uncle Frank. Everybody's looking crazy. You know what I mean? Like I can't. It's the '90s trope. Siblings hate each other. They do that always back in the days. Sibling rivalry. Whatever, but it was a little heavy-handed on the Kevin hate. Because even the mom was kind of like go up to your room kind of thing, whatever. And then lastly, just like we talked about earlier, 45 minutes to get to the airport. Come on, bro. Like, come on. A neighborhood like that next to the airport. Come on. Like it looked like it's a nice, quiet neighborhood. You ain't hearing no planes fly over there.
Good 30 minutes. Good 30 minutes to the airport.
Good 30. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, those are the things. Mia, what's the moral of the story to you?
Oh man. So before we get there, I have to, because it's kind of tied into my moral of the story. Like what you were saying about the family dynamic and not really seeing enough of that, and it feeling like they were too heavy on the Kevin hate.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to find the moral of the story the way that I felt like it was supposed to be, because I felt like what I felt like they were trying to do was make it clear to Kevin that he misses family and that he loved his family. But the way that they treated him, I was like, I don't know if I can like reconcile that he's supposed to be the one who appreciates his family when they treat him like that.
Yeah.
So I had to look at it from the mom's perspective, or maybe like the parent. And so what I ended up going with was more so just like, don't take your loved ones for granted, slow down. You don't get these moments back with your kids. So, pay attention, slow down. Things are going to get done. We're all busy. It's a lot of hustle and bustle, but you have to slow down.
Yeah.
Be present in the moment, because no telling what you'll miss. And luckily this was the movie that it was, because it could have been a completely different situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What say you, Ash?
That's super good. I struggled with this as well. I ended up saying just learn how to adapt. Just be able to adapt. There's always unexpected situations that come up and arise, and you just have to really be able to adapt to what's going on in your life at that time. Haven't had to adapt, obviously. The whole family had to adapt. Yeah, I just landed in Paris, did a turnaround. You know what I mean? All of this tying back into what Mia said, just because you need to slow down and pay attention to what's going on, take your time. But even doing those, sometimes things come up. So just being able to adapt and adjust. That's what I got from this movie.
Okay, good. Mine's is when you're a parent, bro, you're a parent. Like you ain't getting out of it. I don't care how old they are, how young they are. You're a parent. The parenting got a parent. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing the counting, not a kid.
Mhm.
I'm looking at your faces, nobody else. I love my family. I love my sister. I love my brother. I love my mama, but I'm going to make sure my kid is good. Like nobody else. Like there's nothing else. I'm not waiting on anybody else to check in unless they're watching them. And even then I'm calling. Like when you're a parent, be a parent. There ain't nothing higher than that when your kids is in your presence. There's nothing higher than that. You're going to take care of business. You're going to do things that make mommy happy sometime, daddy happy sometime, but you are still a parent and that can never leave. Like that never leaves. So make sure you be very careful with who you procreate with because your parenting never leaves. You should be mindful of your kids. Like this is one of those things, and this is smoke for both the parents. Like it ain't just the mommy, it's daddy too, because daddy shouldn't have been so cool like Mia said about it. And at the end of the day, it's like, bro, are you serious? This is baby boy. This is your last child. Don't get me wrong, it don't matter if it's baby girl. Like it's your last child, and you don't even like. Come on, bro. Like that just could never have been me as a father. You know what I mean? Even though I kind of used him as the character I relate to the most, but I could never be me as a father. Like, I don't care what she did. I'm still going to overlook what you did as well and make sure I'm good with it too. And that's the moral of the story for me. It's like when you're a parent, it never shuts off, bro. I don't care how old they are, what they know. You don't, there ain't a trip. I mean, we wouldn't have made the trip. Like, cause if I don't have my kid there, we're not doing it. I'm looking back in the van. I'm need to see his face. There's nothing in the world that will make me be okay with not checking in and just trusting that my niece or my daughter, whoever she was, said, "Oh, the count is here." The count is not enough. Like, so that's the moral of the story for me. Is like I put, we can go any way with it, but that's where I go with it. So yeah. Lastly, as y'all know, we don't have a pre-conversation for this, so we really don't know what the movie is that's going to be revealed. So that's the fun and exciting part of the show before we get out of here. So it is now on Mia G. So with that being said, it looks like we're getting a little closer to Christmas. Very interested to see where she goes next. So Mia G, what movie are we reviewing next?
So I went back and forth a lot between two different movies. Because the one that I ended up going with, I'm not 100%. I know it's a huge deal for a lot of people, but I don't know if it was a huge deal for y'all like it was for me. Okay. But I had to go with my gut and a tribute to my mommy because this is her favorite Christmas movie. So what we're gonna do right here is go back, way back. Back. And I'm gonna go with the 1983 A Christmas Story.
I've always wanted to watch that movie, actually.
You've never seen A Christmas Story?
Not that I know of. It may have been on and I didn't know I was watching it. Wow, so we get a new watch. Is that new for you, Ash?
Yeah, I would say. I don't know that I've seen it. I gotta put it on and see, but yeah.
Yes, I'm excited because I've always wanted to watch. I was like, man, we got to start getting other things in rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what?
Are you saying we won't be disappointed, Mia G?
This movie, oh my God. Okay. So because that's crazy that you've never seen it.
I know.
Because it is such like an American classic, I'll say.
Yeah.
As far as like Christmas movies, because I even like all these years later, I don't even know how many years later made like a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But it's always been it's my mom's favorite. And We watch it every year, and it is, I really think you guys are gonna enjoy it
I'm
because
excited about this. Yeah.
it's hilarious, but not in the Home Alone, Jingle All the Way,
Mm-hmm.
family friendly way. It is family friendly, but it's like more old school funny in that
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit darker humor, but it's so good. I can't believe you guys have never seen
Yeah.
it.
That's dope. I love it. A good twist like that. That is exciting. I'm excited. You excited, Ash?
I am. I mean, I love to watch something I haven't seen before.
Yes.
So really, I gotta really be locked in
Really locked
now.
in.
So
Yeah. No memories on this. Like,
yeah, no
yeah.
memory bank. So I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, y'all look, that is our episode. After this next Christmas movie, obviously the episode that comes out after will be the last one of this year, and then we'll be getting into our next category. So y'all just be prepared. We don't know where we're going to take it next, but truly we're enjoying this holiday season. I hope y'all are really staying safe out there. It's getting a little chilly out there. You know, we're getting the sniffles. So we definitely need to go back in the house. The lights is coming on. Look like a little flurries is coming down. So we got to get back in, get the fireplace going, get some hot chocolate and get warm before mama come outside looking for us. So man, if y'all want to reach out to us, you know, once y'all hop on your bikes, y'all can reach out to us, childishgrownups3@gmail.com or Instagram, childishgrownups, or y'all can leave a comment on YouTube. We would always acknowledge our stoop kids. Man, we thank y'all for listening. Peace out.